Hello, everybody. Welcome. My name is Margaret Pinard. I think there's one person I haven't met yet. Wendy, hello in the chat. You're on my channel, which means you're on BookTube with all that entails. And this Friday morning, it's the first Friday of March, so happy almost spring. And that means that we've got first Friday productivity sprints on my channel. I am a little under the weather, so my voice will be very calming today because I won't be as energetic. So if that's the vibe you're going for, if you've got a migraine, for example, stay tuned. I've got timers with ambient noise, but it's nature noise, so hopefully that isn't too disruptive to people. I was thinking about putting music on in the background so I don't feel as anxious to talk to fill in this space, but thumbs up for music in the background, thumbs down if you don't want the music when I'm chatting like this. We'll have a few minutes to chat in between our sprints. So that's how I do it. I forgot to introduce myself. In case you don't know, I write historical fiction and fantasy. I've got 6 books out, and I'm an eclectic reader. So I'm on both sides of the book and author debates and love reading. I may actually pop in to tell you a few things about the books I'm reading currently because that's always fun. And hear what you're reading and loving, hopefully, currently. But otherwise, we've got lots of things to do today. I've got oodles of tasks to choose from, as do you probably. But getting up, recovering from having a cold, you need to have your tea. I don't know if anyone recognizes this. It's a mug, it's been around. Jane Austen mug. For that big cup of tea to start the morning. I'll just say hi to everyone in the chat while we're warming up here. Shannon was here. She hit the like button. She is attending 2 writing conferences virtually today. So she's got her multitasking hat on for sure. Emma Bennett, romance author, is also over on her channel sprinting. Did you hear that? Oh, he stopped. Shoot. I was gonna let you guys hear that noise that my cat makes when he's watching birds, which is like a strangled clucking. It's hilarious. JC Carpenter was here super early, just about the time I was here, so all good. I called her Superfly, so good compliments in the morning to get you rolling. Penumbra My Maggie was here to say hello, but just here to support. We hope the migraine goes away. Wendy Prasert has been having migraines all week. It's the weather change, she says. So welcome. Glad to see you here. Rachel, hello, hello. Got some writer fam in the comments. Very happy to see you guys. Abigail McDowell, cute picture with the dogs. Good morning. Trying to finish up some college work before enjoying the weekend. Sounds like good. It feels much better. It may sound just as bad, but it feels much better. But thanks. Okay, we've got 1 vote for music, so I guess I'll turn it on. Right here. Beep. I have miscalibrated the volume controls before, so if it gets too loud and you can't hear me, also just I don't think that's how you wanted it to look on the screen. But yes, my grandson feel better. Yes. Oh, we had a Melissa. Melissa's gonna be working along with us. Love it. Such a cute mug. Thank you. Emma highlights mugs on her channel too. She's got some fancy ones that I've seen, which is great. How it looks on the outside. Sometimes it's funny, you know. All right, so beginning of the month, it's not always a weather change, but there seems to be a lot of weather changing lately. So really feel for all you people who have the sensitivity and you feel yanked around by that. That's pretty awful. So I hope whatever helps um, get you through it, gets you through it. I'm gonna go ahead and set up my timer here. It's gonna be one of Laura Nettle's timers. Uh, yep. Uh, what are we working on? I forgot to put these up. Yes, welcome and welcome. Pop up any questions. Um, let us know what you're working on. Let's see, we're not doing this yet, so I'll pop this up big. I tend to go into planner mode for the first sprint on a Friday and sort of ground myself in what tasks are priorities because sometimes my brain will go, oh, do that, it's easy, or oh, do that, you don't want to do the other thing. When if I really look at the priorities, I should be ordering it differently. So that's what I'll be doing in the first sprint. I might also be working on a book tag for later this month, so a little content preparation. But I know there's two big tasks, which are sort of like panel organizing, that I'm just like having to work myself up to starting because it's one of those you ask people, and it's a little disheartening if they say no. So I have to kind of like bolster myself before I put myself out there. You know, drop an emoji if you feel me when you're like an introvert, not introverting on the internet. But other than that, we should be able to get some good stuff done in my 2 hours of productivity sprint. So yeah, so we'll just get started in a minute. Wendy says, scheduled out my March deadline, said I'm hoping to get at least halfway through outlining Act 2 on a new work in progress. Nice. Yep. Melissa, it's not letting me put up Melissa's comment. I'm working on my work plan for March. Yes, also in planner mode. There we go. Yeah, and don't overdo it. Yep. All sound advice. We're all such good advice givers, but taking the advice. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this a little bigger so it can take center stage. And let's jump into our first sprint into that planner mode. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the music so we can hear the nature sounds. All right, I'll see you in 20 minutes, everybody. Good luck. Ring. Congratulations. And we're back. So I'll turn that on again. All right. We welcome some new people. Want to say hi, Joanne. P.S. If anyone wasn't there last night, Joanne's first book, Culinary Confessions, was a hit with the readers of the Black Author Tuber Readathon. So go ahead and check that out. We did a little closing ceremony party last night. It was really fun. Nia, the vixen of fiction, also popped in to say hello. Just lovely. Jordan Mahoney, welcome, welcome. It looks like it's their birthday month. Very cool. Just Eva stopping in to say, heyo. I hope I got that right. Yeah, so welcome everybody. How do we do? Was 20 minutes a good time? We feel good about that? P.S. Lots of things going on here. The timer, I think, is an alder tree, but my background with the yellow flowers, I thought that was wisteria flowers until my friend educated me about a certain type of tree that has this type of flowers. They're legumes. They're related to peas and lentils. And so now I think this is a picture of a black locust tree. So if anyone knows enough to correct me or confirm my guess estimate, please do. I love to learn these things. So my progress, instead of working on the book tag, I actually looked at my planner and I'm sort of experimenting with what types of videos I'm posting. So I've got a solid first week and I've got a solid last week sort of slots that I know what to do in terms of topics. But the middle weeks are like, it could be this, or it could be this, or I could do this, or all over the place. And so I was trying to pin down what I'm going to do next week in 2 days, that thing. I had marked down talking about the Irish Readathon, which is something I've done for 2 years now. And so I pulled out all my Irish books and looked at the prompts, and I'm starting to go through, and that feels pretty good. So I think that's what I'll be working on for the next sprint. So yeah, so that was some pretty good progress. How about you all? Yep, and Joanne's popped a link in for Amazon to buy. Joanne, let me know if you are distributing widely instead of just Amazon, because I like to promote other than Amazon buy links if I can on my channel. But yeah. Rachel says, I am reading Inca's book first, then yours, Joanne. Nice. Is that Inca York? That's the name that comes to mind, is the name I've seen in chats. So I think that's right. So there we go. Yeah, so I'll be talking about Irish books on Sunday. Here's another thing besides the flower and the tree and whatever else in the background. So on the theme of quality decreasing throughout our lifetime, like, does anyone know what this is? Right? If anyone can see this that I'm holding up, there's one, there's two, there's three. You notice something the same about them all? It's very discouraging. You got a whole pack. They're bobby pins, if you can't see. But they're not bobby pins, because bobby pins are different. These are actually called straight pins, I think, even though they're not straight. But they're supposed to be for like more elaborate hairstyles. I just use it for a bun, to prop up a bun. And they're all bent because they're made out of like aluminum. It's ridiculous. I had a handful of these from years and years ago, and they lasted a long time. I just kept losing them. And now when I had to finally go buy a new pack, they're like so cheap and they don't work, and it makes me very, very sad. Anyone knows where to find better hairpins. My God. Okay, so that was the sadness from yesterday. The other thing I thought I'd remark on that's related to books this time is a current read and a future read. So a little book sidebar. Sorry if you're here for the sprints. We'll get back to it in just a minute. I'm currently rereading this book, Boundless Heart by Christina Feldman. The Buddha's Path of Kindness, Compassion, Joy, and Equanimity. I read it a few years ago and gave it 5 stars, and I thought rereading it would help sort of ground me in some emotional sort of upheaval and transition stuff. It's interesting. I'm picking up on different things as I go back through it, so that's always a thing with a reread. But I also just saw someone recommend this book, so I picked it up at the library. That's Bittersweet by Susan Cain, How Sorrow and Longing Make Us Whole. And Susan Cain is famous for writing quiet, which I have stayed away from reading because, number one, it's super hyped. Number two, it's about introverts, and I've read plenty of books about introverting. And number three, I read a review that said, like, it's basically her TED Talk just drawn out. And I was like, well, okay, I don't really think I need to read it. This is another big one. So I'm hoping it's not going to go the way of most disappointing nonfiction, where it just takes one idea and then, like, threads it out. But the reason I think it's interesting to have these two read together or in close proximity is that the Buddhism text is about staying connected and witnessing things and having compassion, but not being attached to outcomes. So hang on to that idea. But then this is the sorrow and longing making us whole. So this would say, stay in your feels, feel the feeling, don't be numb and distract yourself to get away from it. But this seems to be saying that sorrow and longing, which are kind of like attachment or over long clinging to something, is beneficial. So I'm going to have to see, like, mediating between these two, who I think is closer to the truth. Because I definitely see in my own life that there's the pain of pain, as the Buddhist text says, and then there's the pain of suffering that you can't let go of, or the pain of change, or the pain of uncertainty. It doesn't say that one in the book, but that's the one that I definitely have recognized. So yeah, I'm just going to be interested to see, like, how they stand up against each other. So here's to books that are, like, in conversation with each other without even knowing, right? So yeah. All right. Yes. So Rachel says, I've set up the new spreadsheets and realized I have something else to promote. Oh, yay. Good progress? Good progress. Yes, in New York. Awesome. Like, supporting each other on the tubes. That's great. Joanne says, I'm thinking of making my second book wide, but not my first until I revise the book after I've published the second. Gotcha. Wendy said, the blurb looks great. Grabbed a copy. Yay! See? Happy book pixie dust in the comments. I love it. My hair is way too thick for those thin bobby-leg pins. Yeah, my hair is really thin, so I actually use them to, like, make it fluff up. Yeah. Jocelyn Carter, hello and welcome. Aphrodite Lee popping in to say hello as well. Oh gosh, the migraines seem to be going around. I wonder, people who have had migraines this week, where are you from? Because I think you're from, like, vastly different regions of the country, but drop it in the chat. We'll see if there's any, I don't know, experimentally theories that we can hammer out here. Maggie made coffee and uploaded book 3 to follow the book coming out on March 12th. We have a book coming out on March 12th. Oh, that's cool. I haven't heard about it yet. Very nice. Okay. So Aphrodite's in Maryland. Others without migraines. Maggie's in Colorado, so that's not the same migraine source, I would think. Wendy, I'm not sure where you're located. Are they coming from the east? Is it coming from Maryland? So we've got some information on Project Sugar and Spice, which is Joanne's second book. Wendy is in Texas. The weather has been all over the place. Yesterday's storms made my head explode with all the pressure. Ooh, I'm sorry, Texas. I got a group text from my family that my sister near Dallas had run out of power and the kids were out of power on their devices, and it was sort of nice. They had a generator for their fridge, so it wasn't too bad, but yeah, storms for sure. I don't have a TV, so I hadn't seen anything on the news. Yeah. Oh, okay, it's going from west to east. I figured I'd get the weather I had a few days ago. Melissa dropping some knowledge here. Long-time migraine sufferer. If you live somewhere with snow, the glare of the sun off the snow can be a big trigger. Well, I see that for Colorado. I don't know about Texas or Maryland. I don't go anywhere with sunglasses, without sunglasses. Good point. Good point. Oh, yeah. Good deal. Okay. So I'm going to keep chugging along with my Irish reads preparation for my video on Sunday. I'm very excited about this. I was just reflecting on not library books that I have in my house. And like Irish books, I have a few. I have a few. So, and these are the ones that are like about Ireland. These are not the fiction authors I have in fiction that I don't recall at the moment that are Irish. I wish I had that cataloged somehow, but unfortunately I don't. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to that. We'll do another 20-minute sprint. I'm just gonna use the same timer. But yeah. Oh, Wendy's from Oregon. Okay. That's where I am, Wendy. So yeah, we just had a huge snowstorm, but migraines were not the problem. The problem was electricity and driving anywhere, as I'm sure you'll know if you're from the west side of the Cascades. If you're from the east side, you don't care. Oh, okay. Bring it back down. I can't laugh with this voice today. Okay, let's pop back into the timer. Give you a few seconds. I'll mute myself and I will see you again for a little chat in 20 minutes. Good luck. How nice. I like that. I think we did a 25-minute sprint instead of a 20. But I like that, book, 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 little tap to get your attention. It's like a gentle awakening. So, how'd we do with our 25-minute sprint? I heated up my tea again. I went through my stack of books. Let's turn this back on. And I went down a rabbit hole with Thomas Flanagan. So I'm, looking for Irish books for the readathon, and this is definitely about Ireland. It's historical fiction about the 1798 rebellion, written in 1979 by Thomas Flanagan. But I found out Thomas Flanagan was born in Connecticut. He's Irish American. He taught at Berkeley, English professor, all this stuff. So went down a little rabbit hole. You ever read someone's biography and go, wow, that's so interesting. I wish I could have talked to them. I'll tell you what you should do. You should write that writer's name down on a list so that when you get a book tag that says, who would you invite to a literary dinner party, you have an answer. Because whenever I get asked that, I have no flippin' idea. But it's in there. It's in there. It's just not retrievable. Jocelyn says, I like 25-minute sprints. Yep. Sounds good. Melissa, finished my work, going to get myself a tea, maybe do a little reading. Nice. Just sidebar chat about the Irish Readathon. There are no prompts about nonfiction, which makes me a little sad. Book with green on the cover, Irish kids book, Irish commercial fiction, long or short book, which I guess could be nonfiction, and a book that goes with one or more of these buzzwords. But like half of my picks are nonfiction. So I guess I have a decided bit. Yay! Joanne's got 100 words written. Going through some feedback my critique partner left on the first chapter. Oh, feedback my critique partner left. Got it. Yes. Also raising money. Yep. All right. Anyone else's progress during our 25-minute sprint? I should probably put aside my procrastinating technique now that I've done it for 2 sprints and hop back into content planning. So, Rachel finished reading 4 articles and now ready for lunch. Yay! Wendy outlined to the midpoint. Fair play. Well done. Good job, everybody. What other tidbits do I have to throw at you? I had 2 announcements. So I usually do like coming attractions, and I didn't want to forget these. So next Thursday, I will be doing another sprint, but not here. I'll be doing it on Emma Bennett's channel. So Thursday, March 9th. It might be a longer one. I'm not sure how long she's going to be going, but we'll be sprinting together on her channel. So that's the link for that. I'm very excited to be invited over there. And then also in March, there's kind of a big thing happening, which is the Tuber Book Club, manned by Books by Adrian and attended by several friends in the chat, I believe, is going to be reading and reviewing my book from 2014, Dulcie's Legacy. So that is 9 years ago. So please be gentle. It's my young adult supernatural book. So they will be, oh, I said dunces. That's autocorrect. Let me redo that. Oh boy. Thank you, Notes autocorrect. That's very helpful. Really silly. Okay, and then I can delete it. Boy. Okay. So yeah, so that's pretty cool that I was up in the running for different books over several different months, but this is the one that got chosen. So I think they've done mostly genre fiction, like sci-fi and sort of like action-oriented books. So this is probably a good pick for the book club. Um, it's a girl who's going into high school and starts getting visions, and then she has strange things happen that she has to figure out how to fix because the something that's happening in the vision is affecting her present, and, yeah. So that's all I'll say, no spoilers. Petitioning me to now write a book called Dunce's Legacy. Oh god. I'm sure it's a good book. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Jocelyn. Yeah. And by the way, it takes place in Nova Scotia, so, Melissa. Hint, hint. Um, I went up and visited there the year before and just thought it was so beautiful, so I took, I think, Glace Bay. I can't remember if that's the real name. I think Glace Cove is the real name, and I made it Glace Bay or vice versa, and sort of used that for my geography and, um, some of the scenes that I set, basing it basing the fictional town on the place that I visited, which was kind of fun. Yeah, bucket list. It's so gorgeous. I went in the beginning of October, and they had just finished the height of the leaf peeping season, as they call it, and they're like, "Oh, if you'd only come in here 2 weeks ago, it would've been gorgeous." And I was looking out going, "And what is this, chopped liver?" It was still gorgeous. Um, there's also a music festival in the fall. I think it's called Celtic Colors, and I hear that's fantastic, but I also missed out on that because I was looking for cheap accommodation, which, yeah, depends on when more people are gonna be there. Google Earth, nice. Yes, there are a lot of, I would say, Scottish transplants in Nova Scotia, or at least descendants of, as it means, New Scotland. I would say the Irish transplants are more in Newfoundland, especially based on a recent TikTok I saw that put a person is the same person, but he's playing 2 characters, an Irish person and a Newfie talking to each other in a bar, and the Irish person couldn't understand that he was from this place called Newfoundland across the ocean because he sounded exactly the same as an Irishman. So, yep, that's my there's a Glace Bay on Cape Breton Island. Okay, then I made it Glace Cove and, like, fictionalized some of the didetails. That's fun. Yeah, I had a lobster roll, I had a used bookstore experience. I'm, like, trying to remember what else I did. I didn't get to see the Hector replica because I think it was taken out for repairs or something, but, um, there's a lot of cool stuff that I did while I was touring there. A real town called Wolfville. So that tells me there's, like, French influence in that town because it also used to be a French area, l'Acadie, and Wolfe was I think a British governor at some time, in the 18th century. So that's probably like a mishmash of the British governor name, and the French population. That's pretty cool though that you, like, twist that right into a werewolf pack migration backstory. That's great. That's fun. Speaking of twisting, I also saw a video that was about cordage and making cordage from plants. I was like, "This is so fantastic. This is going to fuel my next, endeavor for survival training." Uh, Wolfville is the home of the Harriet Irving Botanical Gardens, where one of the character lives, nice, and works. Very cool. I don't know anything about a Harriet Irving, so sounds like it must be a local notable. That's cool. Yeah, Google Earth, an author's friend. What can I say? Let's see, 10:15. Why don't we do another 25-minute sprint? Nice and slow, and we'll just do 3 today. Um, the new Weems pack lives on the shore of the Black River Lake. Nice. I first came across that name, Weems, in a Diana Gabaldon novel, and then I came across it when I was in Scotland and learned the name of the town and how to say it. Oh, it's funny pronunciation. Hi, Jim. Welcome to the chat. Oh, he just Googled something for us. 13.43% of the population of Canada claim full or partial Irish ancestry. That seems low. Huh. I bet it's higher in America. I don't know why. I just bet it is. Cultural memory, I think. At least biased, subjective cultural memory. So let me rewind. We'll just use the same one again so that I don't have to queue up another beat. There we go. And sorry if it's driving your cat bonkers to not find the birds. Oh my gosh, I took a hilarious picture yesterday. There's a big building. So I have a great view across Portland, but there's one like tall apartment building in front of me that sort of blocks out the view. So it's like here, and then right in the middle is this building with all the, like exhaust pipes and crap on top that I get to see. But yesterday I was looking out and perched on all these little industrial pipes and stacks was like hundreds of crows. So I just took a picture. The rain and sleet crap had stopped. The sun was shining from the west as it sort of lowered below the clouds, and the crows were all over there like, oh, soaking up the sun. It was funny. Excuse me. Figured you didn't need to hear my nose. Irish. More Irish in Nova Scotia. Is that population or is that people claiming Irish ancestry? Interesting. When I was just starting out, I did an AuthorTube themed video about how heritage and cultural background influences my books. And I had like 50 subscribers. So, I mean, it's lost in the forgotten annals of booktube history. But I really enjoyed thinking about that because that's, I think, something we pull from what we learned as kids growing up based on our family lore, and then also what our community gives us in terms of where we grew up, and then what we actually learned in school and books and media, um, and how that affects like your creative output. So yeah, one of those things where when you're asked on a book tag, again, you should write that down somewhere so that you'll have an answer. A video you wished had done better. I think that would start some interesting conversations, but I don't think many people saw it. Probably higher in the US since some of us have it in our blood. I don't know. I think I don't know what factors would make it different in the two countries. That would be an interesting topic to explore. Oh, Maggie's going deep into the world building here. Nice. Meteorites, craters, Quebec. Okay, so that was population then, the last number? I'm confused. There's 200,000 what in Nova Scotia? Oh, this must be Irish. And then there's 288,000 Scottish in Nova Scotia identified. Gotcha. I mean, I generally trust Wikipedia with stuff like that. Yep, indentured servitude. Um, when I was reading, what was I reading? I think it was the Clinton Smith book that talked about the survival rates because New York City, I think they put the figures up for indentured servants, and they did the very cold calculation of survival rate. Like if you take 100 people from West Africa and you bring them to the island House of the Slaves, which is this museum that he visited, how many survived the overland trip? If you take them across the ocean, how many survived that trip? If you land and have the first year, how many survived that portion? And it's just like 23 out of 100. So many people died before they even got there. Yeah. How the Word is Passed, everybody. Nonfiction, genius. Highly recommend. But let's get back into sprint mode because my voice is seeming to go again. Um, thanks for everyone bearing with me here with the stuffy nose. And yeah, I'll go ahead and mute and we can jump into our final sprint, 25 minutes, and have some nice nature noises. And that will be our liftoff, our launch into a beautiful weekend. So good luck, everybody. See you in 25 minutes. That was way too fast. And now it gives you a 5-minute break with just a black screen. Okay. Well, I think we're done with the timers. So, what do we have going on in the chat? Okay, so we're talking about immigration, which is irrelevant on my channel, based on the books that I wrote. JC hopped off. Maggie was talking about a little tete-a-tete that her family had. Jim was giving us statistics about population. Oh, boy. Oh, that's great. You're on hold with the doctor, and they have the worst music for migraine sufferers. Dueling flutists? Is it flautists? I don't know. Wendy says, thanks so much for the spreads. Got a lot done. Hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Even better weekend. Thanks for coming by, Wendy. Good luck with the organ search. Hope you'll be my neighbor. I was just looking through my scratch pad of notes to take because I'm pretty sure I thought something through and wrote it down, but now I can't remember where. And my nose. Sorry, everybody, if you're hearing that. Just trying to remember. Yeah, book reviews. Sonnet notes. Nope. Book reviews. To-do list. And now I forgot what I was looking for. So that's how quickly that happens. Oh my gosh. We got 10 minutes to wind down. Let's see. Let's see if I can remember what I was doing. Finish the Irish stuff. But, oh, I know. One of the panels. I forgot what my idea was for the readathon. I try to mix up the prompts for March of the Moderns, May of the Moderns, and I was going to do something new this year, and I had an idea, and I wrote it down, and I sketched out the possibilities of reaching out for this idea. I just don't know where. So the fact that it's, oh, wait, I think I might know where it is. Bear with me. Let's see. Yes, it's in my planner. Oh my God. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, we're back on track. I just had to blow my nose again, and I didn't want to gross everybody out. Ugh, I'm just grossing myself out. Oh. But if you were here earlier, you saw that I compared two books that were in conversation with each other. And if you were here earlier, you will know that I just read this book and loved it, Where We Stand, Class Matters by Bell Hooks. And then I noticed that I had this on my shelf, which is Class Matters, which is a correspondence of the New York Times sort of short articles brought together in a compendium, if that's the right word. And I thought, oh, looks like I know which book to read next and then like compare. So anyway, this is me making connections because that's how my mind works. Leaping across relevant boundaries to connect things that are vastly different. Oh, it's a metaphor mind. I don't know. Does anyone else have that happen like involuntarily? That's just how I roll. Let's see. Catching up here. Oh, Jim finished his first mammoth, and it's only March 3rd. Well done. Oregon neighbors. I like that. Jim finished Stalin, the Court of the Red Tsar. Started in January. Hey, it's when you finish it that counts. That's how I count my books read anyway. Feels good to finish something you've been reading for months. Sure does. Jim says, I have Cryptonomicon also for March, 910 pages, and it weighs over a kilogram. Wow. He's trying to make up for last year where he didn't read a single mammoth. Ha. Melissa just finished a 990 pager for the BookTube prize, although 110 of those pages were the references. Isn't that nice? When you get to the back and you're like, oh, I don't have to read quite so much as I thought I did. Seriously, that is some commitment to the prize. I didn't do anything other than read in February. Commitment. Exactly. Oh, I was holding up the chunkers that I was considering for the Irish readathon, at least like dipping in, not reading the whole thing, obviously. This is Colm Tóibín's Irish fiction from like the 90s. These are books that I've had for a long time and have not let go of. And this is the one that was kicked out of the running because it's an American, The Year of the French by Thomas Flanagan. So, but I got my idea back for May of the Moderns and I'm excited about it. So maybe, let's see, it's 11 for me. I will take a quick lunch break, medication break, and come back to the screen to do some emailing about that. Rachel says, I haven't read those kinds of books since college. My mind no longer allows it. You all are very much more committed than me. It's hard. Your mind does change over time. Yeah. And it's interesting. It changes based on what you read. So for people, and I'm not sure how this divides out, but I know some people say once they start writing books, they can't enjoy reading them as much or in the same way because their brain's picking apart the structure and the elements of writing it rather than just absorbing it as an observer. And I don't usually have that problem, but I will say I went to reread. So I have a handful of mysteries that I took out to like reevaluate and part of my decluttering ongoing project. And I think I've gotten rid of most of them. There are like 6 that were taking up the back part of my mystery shelf. And I looked at one the other day and I read the first 50 pages and I had already written down 7 notes of like, what about this? This is wrong. What about this thing you just said? And that doesn't make sense. And this wouldn't happen. I got to 50 pages with my questions on this post-it. And I was like, I don't think I need to keep this one. It's just aggravating me. I won't say which one it was, but yeah, I've got a good shelf of mysteries that I can reread. I was sort of unofficially going through a reread of all my Laurie R. King books, the Mary Russell Sherlock Holmes series. I love her books. I reread them and I don't remember the mystery, and she constructs it so deftly that I'm surprised again, and I just enjoy going along with the humor and the intellectual puzzle and the historical setting. It's just kiss. I love Laurie R. King. So if you have to read a King, pick up Laurie instead of Stephen. That's what I'd say. Rachel says, I read them from late middle school through mid-20s. I was definitely considered a nerd. You're in the right crowd, Rachel. I got one night for the do-a-thon. Oh, there's a Welsh readathon recommended by Kieran of Katie Books. Oh, I forgot he has a Welsh readathon. Oh, I only have one Welsh book. It's the Mabinogion, and I don't think I'm going to crack that this month. But good on you, Jim. Well done. I'm also reading some Agatha Christie for March Mystery Madness. I saw Janelle has these interesting new format of videos coming out for that. Very cool. I have a small pile of mystery books, but not sure I will have time to get to any in March. Keeping my fingers crossed. Well, good luck, Melissa. I think I have 2 left that are like up for evaluation, and then I'll have one less stack on my floor. Fingers crossed. What Christie Sparkling Cyanide, and Death on the Nile. 2. You got 2 going. Well, nice. Anyone reading any women thematic books for March since it's Women's History Month? I saw a couple videos and lives that were up today based on that theme. Um, I don't know, drop those in the comments. That'd be pretty interesting. When I wrote down my list of Irish reads, like 80% of them were women writers. And I was like, oh, cool. I could do the intersectional thing this month. So that's good. The other thing I decided in the last sprint was that May of the Moderns announcement will be coming either this Sunday or, either next Sunday or the Sunday after to give people time to prepare, find a book, fit it into their schedule, make videos if they need to. Because I know some people plan much farther ahead than I do. Oh, Agatha Christie. Jim's reading them on the Internet Archive. Nice. If anyone doesn't know what that is, it's books that are readable online for free without the benefit of a library, I believe. I can't remember if I had to log in. I did have to log in to the Internet Archive, but it's free. It's just another way for your email to be pilfered out in the universe. But it is a pretty cool project. It's kind of like Google Books, but not so Google-owned, I guess. So there, you've heard my plans for the day. I'm also going to be walking downtown to pick up some food and bring it out to a remote location. So that should be fun. Let's get some Indian food. But yeah, hopefully this just dries up and goes away. Sorry for all the people who have migraines in the comments. When I told people I had a cold a couple days ago, a bunch of people were like, oh, I'm sick. And I was like, something going around. It's like the internet can communicate viruses or something. Melissa says, I've only read one Christie, would love to get another soon. I think I've read Dorothy Sayers. I think I read 2 of hers and I was like, not a fan really. So I just gave it up. I don't know if I've read any Christie. No, I have. You know what? Hold on. Hold up. Oh no. Did I give it away? No, I did not. Okay. That was a gleeful cackle, because look where my Agatha Christie is. It's on the French shelf. I got it at a used bouquiniste. Elizabeth will be proud of me. Un meurtre sera commis le... So I read it in French. It was okay. Oh, Melissa's here. Perfect timing. Let's see. Nia for May of the Moderns. Can it be a book that's modern but about that time period? No. I have thought about doing a different one, but there's Historathon, which is modern books about historical eras, and they kind of do that. So I thought about doing historical fiction that's about the modern time period, but no, these are for books published back then. So it's like classics kind of stuff. 1901 to 1945 is the date. End of Victorian era to end of World War II. That's how I signposted it. Whatever it's called, goal posted. Oh, okay, Jim, with Internet Archive, you have to log in, then you have an hour loan, then you can keep renewing unless someone else takes one out. So it is kind of like a library, but like infinite. Melissa, I'm just finishing up. I was sprinting for the last 2 hours. Tu te sens mieux aujourd'hui? Oui. Oui, mais pas 100%. But yeah, we were just talking about mysteries in March, and so I was showing this book. So I read Agatha Christie, but in French. Oh, wait, did I read nope, that wasn't Hercule Poirot. It was someone else who's famous, and it was a guy, and it was about a lock in France. And I didn't like that one either. That may have been a translation. Yeah. Uh, Melissa is the head of a nonprofit that does amazing things. So she's not a fiction writer, an official writer, but she's a bomb-ass grant writer. So I'll just give you that introduction, Melissa. And she has really fun sprints. So this is how I know Melissa. Oh, nice. That's funny. That's a funny way to come to Agatha Christie. Yeah. Yeah. Nice to see you for a couple minutes. We're just wrapping up and having a little chat. Oh, I read Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants in French. I have not read that. Have I seen it? I don't think I've seen it. I think I've seen clips. And I wanted to see it at some point, but I think I'm a little old for the time it came out. But yeah, so Irish history and fiction. Women's history this month. May of the Moderns announcement in a week or two. And yeah, just lots of other reading. Oh, the other little research reading thing I was going to show. Books in conversation with each other is World War I research. So I think I mentioned these a week and a half ago. I started backwards. Jocks, Voices of Scottish Soldiers from the First World War. Written, like the interviewer was Jock Duncan, but the editor, because he's passed on, is Gary West. There is Aberdonian and Doric and a language key in this one. So it's going to take me a while, but maybe this is going to drag me this northeastern direction in my next work. Who knows? And then this is something I had myself, The Great Silence by Juliet Nicholson, which is talking about the armistice to 1920 and basically like a year and a half. She's pinpointing all these very specific instances of people she's researched to get a broad swath of the population and background and demographics. But it's just coming across as very random. So I'm not sure how she would have done with this nonfiction book proposal if she hadn't been the sister of a famous novelist and a person with a famous last name. I don't know. I'm a good chunk in, so we'll see. We'll see if these books end up being a conversation with each other. Could be good. Hey Morgan, quick hello. Thank you for coming by. Ooh, Melissa writes some nonfiction. Well, if we can find it anywhere for purchase, let us know. Jim has To the Lighthouse on my shelf waiting for May of the Moderns. Excellent. I asked the crowd, I polled the crowd about Elizabeth Bowen because apparently she's a Irish author, Irish-British it says in Wikipedia. I have her book Death of the Heart on my list for May of the Moderns because it's 1945. But she's written a whole bunch of other stuff, some after, some before. So I was trying to gauge whether anyone had read and liked or hated her, but I didn't get any response. So I'll just have to jump in blind. Yes, have to search my shelves for May of the Moderns. Need to read down my physical TBR for sure. They hide, like they hide on the shelves. I'm sure you've got something. Yep, Joanne writes bakery romance books. So far, I'm sure contemporary romance will like grow beyond that in short order. But yes, bakery romance sounds lovely. You're tempting me. I'm trying to stay away from the sugar and the starches and the dairy because of this. It's only a few days, Margaret. You can do it. All right. Well, let's just say if you're new here, like, comment, subscribe, check out my historical/fantasy works. They're always in the description for new folks. And thanks for joining today. My next sprint is with Emma Bennett on her channel next Thursday, the 9th. So be sure to put that on your calendar. It's in the chat. I did put it in the chat, so you can click on it and press notify if you want to join us both for her sprints. And yeah, that's what's coming up next. Other than that, I hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening to me chat on and on about books and bobby pins and metaphor mind and wherever my brain goes. So, hope you're all safe and warm and have a lovely weekend reading. Bye, everybody. Ciao, ciao.